Hey guys, welcome to Willow's Whimsy. This is my series, Neecie'S Many Musings, and I do apologize for my appearance. I had shot this, and it was like 30 minutes long, and I was like, I don't care. I needed to get it out. Excuse me. But then when I went to edit the video, oh my God, I had worn makeup for the rest of my series for the week. And so I had taken it off and washed my face, but I had mascara running up here and a glop of black hanging down out of the corner of my eye. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna post that. I did a Neecie'S Many Musings. Neecie'S Many Musings is the potluck of my channel. So I have a lot of series and they're kind of based on different things, whether it's, my journey to better health, my journey through sobriety, my journey through attaining my goals, whatever it is. I do a product review on Fridays. So this is where everything else gets thrown. If you would like this video, if you would follow my channel, I'd be so grateful. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 by October 30th of this year. So what was this video about? I did a video, a Neecie'S Many Musings on self-care, not too long ago. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll put the link up there for you. And I'm revisiting that today, sort of, just to tell you a story. Because I know that some things have opened back up. I know that some people feel comfortable going out to dinner now, out to restaurants, still taking the precautions that are in place. I know that a lot of families are starting to get together regardless. And I'm not here to comment or to give my opinion on that. I guess my point is I get it, It's really hard trying to do the right thing. And I think that COVID is responsible for deaths other than people who actually had COVID. I think there are people who never had COVID who have died as a result of it. And one can argue, well, they're pretty weak. Mental health is real. It's a real thing. People want to pretend it's not. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to hear about it. It's depressing. Mental health is depressing. Duh. I don't want this to go 30 minutes. So last week I was at the gym. I had just pulled up actually to go in, and I had gotten a notification on Facebook and happened to look, and someone, I saw a post that someone made to a person that I'm friends with on Facebook saying, I can't believe you're gone, RIP, I'll miss you, blah, blah, blah. And when I saw who the person was, I was devastated. And I'm probably going to keep saying through this video, I want to make this as quick as possible. Because my videos, I know, this week especially, they're going kind of long. So it's hard for me not to use names. And part of, if you're involved in a 12-step program, AA, whatever, anonymity is like the foundation, which in this day and age, I think everybody talks about the fact that they're sober, that they're in the program, blah, 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 blah. It is one of the 12 traditions, that we don't talk about AA at the level of press, radio and film, and I guess internet would have been included in that had there been an internet in 1935. So I'll try not to use his name. He was 60 years old. I met him probably around 2006-ish, 2005. I was part of a AA group that was weird and cult-like, and I've talked about that in my series, My Story. Put a link to that up there too. And we had a parent group, if you will, that started out in California. And so they would come to Minnesota and we were hosting them, and we liked to give special gifts. One of the special gifts we wanted to give to some of the leaders of this group were jean jackets that were sand-blasted. And just go ahead and Google sand-blasted denim if you want to see what this is. And so another acquaintance suggested that I go to the studio of this individual who was in Minneapolis, and because he did sandblasting. And so I did. And just step out of that for a second. He had a studio in Minneapolis, and sandblasting is not just on denim. You can do it on glass. You can do it on rock. Like, it's beautiful. It's an art form. And he was commissioned for projects all over the world, you guys. He was that good. He was phenomenal. I had my daughter with me, and she was probably around 5 or 6, and my youngest was very precocious. When she was little, she was very outspoken. She wore her heart and all of her feelings on her sleeve. If she thought it, she said it. There was no filter. If she loved you with all her heart. And she loved meeting new people, and they always got a kick out of her. Well, he was so smitten with her. And it turned out, as we got to know each other during this initial meeting, that he was in AA, had been in AA for years, long-term sobriety. He was a gay man, and he was very, very active in LGBTQ rights. He was an activist, wealthy, had a beautiful home in Minneapolis. He had 2 cockatoos, Vivian and Sue, and he's put up so many videos of them, and it's hard for me to watch them now. I hope that the birds, I hope his partner will take the birds. Anyway, he had been with the same man for, I believe they had been together at the time of his death for about 8 years. And there's a little cardinal outside. Y'all know my thing about cardinals. Maybe that's him. This is someone you would look at like from the outside in and be like, oh my gosh, this person has everything. And to meet him, you guys, you walked away. It didn't matter who you were, what walk of life you were from. You walked away feeling like you were the most important person in the world to him, and that you had made a new friend for life. That's what kind of human being he was. And very physically active too. He hiked to the base camp of Mount Everest. He loved going on just the scariest roller coasters ever, and he went all over the country doing that. He may have traveled out of the country to do that. I don't know. I'm just trying to paint a picture of who he was. So we ordered the jean jackets, and when I went back to pick the jean jackets up, he had made one for my daughter, and her middle name is Rowan. And I'm not going to go into the whole story of what Rowan is. There's a tree, it's the Rowan tree, and there's a whole druid kind of thing behind it, and that's why I gave her that middle name. So what was sandblasted onto the jacket was all these Rowan trees. It was beautiful, and he did that for free. So we became friends on Facebook. I saw him a couple times after that, and the same thing, his face would just light up. He never forgot anybody, and he never forgot their name. And then over the years, we would have conversations via Facebook from time to time. And he knew that I had went back out, that I was drinking, using, whatever. And just from time to time, I'd get a little message. How you doing? I'm thinking about you. Never any judgment, and just supportive. We were passionate about a lot of the same things politically, and he would always comment. And so he died last week, and I started scrolling through his page, like all these RIPs, and I can't even tell you how many people commented and how many people were so deeply affected to the positive by this man's influence and kindness and compassion, and just loved him. And finally found a post that said what happened, and he died of alcohol poisoning. Now, I believe he had 30 plus years of sobriety, and I know that it was sometime after COVID hit that he started drinking again. And from the shock and the surprise that a lot of people expressed, I'm assuming it was relatively, for a short time ago that he started drinking, and he died of alcohol poisoning. And this whole thing of being, having to be indoors, not having to be indoors, but I mean, not being able to travel. For those of us who are very family oriented and friend oriented and very social, it's been extremely difficult not to see our people. I have seen my kids. You know that I'm an essential caregiver for my mom, so I have seen her. But there are a lot of us who followed the mandate and wanted to be a part of the solution and not the problem. But for sensitive people, that takes a toll. And for someone active like him, not being able to travel, and I don't think that he by any means was suffering financially, because he just did very well. And I don't know, I'm assuming business went down a bit. I didn't talk to him, so I don't know what the factors were, you guys, but I know that this affected him. And I know for a fact, knowing him as I did, that the political atmosphere and the division, the murder of George Floyd right here in our state and in Minneapolis, which is where this man lived, and then seeing what happened and the increased divisiveness and ugliness and hatred and bigotry and racism, I know that affected him. And I just think all of this took a toll on him. We're not at the end of this yet. And just because President Biden is in office doesn't mean suddenly racism has disappeared. It's going to maybe be swept under the carpet a little bit more than it was, but it's still there. There's still fights that must be fought. There's still activism that needs to happen. We've got a long ways. Vaccines are starting with COVID. A lot of people are going to get the vaccine when it becomes available. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people are scared. No opinion on that, you guys. I'm not putting anyone down either way. But my point is we have a ways to go. So do take care. I have been okay because I am what I like to call, I say it backwards sometimes, I'm an introverted extrovert. Or you could argue and say I'm an extroverted introvert. Either way, both make sense. I love my family, and I have a few very close friends I've actually seen during this, and then I have a few more that I speak to on a fairly consistent basis. But I'm an introvert at heart. Like, I like my solitude. I like my me time. I'm somewhat antisocial. I need to work on that. I'm probably too antisocial as far as being out, and people can really just kind of suck the life out of me kind of thing. And I'm learning about boundaries and also, you know, like not ending friendships, but really just putting up boundaries with the people that are like that. And call your people, please, if you're hurting, if you're thinking those kind of thoughts. If not just if you've been sober and you're thinking about using, but if your life has nothing to do with sobriety because you're fine that way, but you're thinking dark thoughts. And I had some last week. I had some again today because of the financial stuff I'm going through. It's so overwhelming, and unemployment just won't. It's been over a month, you know, since my boss appealed their approval of my unemployment, and I call, and it's hard. It's really frustrating. I won't go on and on about that. And I'm having thoughts. Why am I even trying? Why do I keep fighting? Why do I keep going every day? As my bank account, every time a payment hits, goes lower and lower and lower and under, and I get all these fees assessed, you know, and just all I can do is keep trying to call unemployment and beg, please figure it out. It's frustrating. I think dark thoughts, but I spoke with my bestie the other day, and then another dear friend called me yesterday, and the people closest to me know, and they care. So reach out. Even if all you can do is just sob the entire phone call and say bad things and mean things about, I don't know, your former boss. Reach out. If nothing else, just believe that the light is there, even at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it. It is. I have to believe that, you know. I don't want this to go too long, you guys. I don't want his legacy to be that he died of alcohol poisoning. I hate that for him. That for me, that's like, it's such a horror, because he had overcome, you know, and yeah, once an addict, always an addict. I get that. But he had overcome, and he had this just rich, amazing, wonderful life, the life that a lot of us looking inside, like I said, would love to have. But it goes to show that if you don't take care of what's being tossed around up here and what's in here, that it can go wrong very quickly. His legacy for me will never be the way he died. It'll be the kind of person he was, and maybe inspire me to do more. So just please, I hope everyone's okay, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves, and I want to believe that we're on the last leg, at least with COVID, maybe not with the racism and equality, fight for equality and all of that, but we are further than we were, and I just got to believe that this COVID stuff, that we're on the last leg of it. So I hope you guys all have a really wonderful day, and I will see you next time.